Welcome, everyone. Our mission today is to impartially explore how a specific religious text uses an ancient biblical conflict to, illustrate the crucial need for spiritual discernment in modern leadership.
Imagine sitting in a boardroom. You're the CEO, right? And the person sitting right next to you, like your most trusted advisor, the person whose every word you treat as absolute gold, suddenly just slides a resignation letter across the table and walks out to join your biggest rival.
Oh, man. It's the ultimate betrayal. The total security you had in that council just vanishes in an instant.
It's a terrifying scenario, and the text we're looking at is the May 18th excerpt of the Rhapsody of Reality's daily devotional, which is by Pastor Chris. And it dives into a story from the Old Testament book of Samuel.
Which introduces us to King David and this guy Ahithophel.
Yeah, Ahithophel. And the text notes that his advice was so highly regarded, it was literally like inquiring at the oracle of God, which is wild. So to contextualize that for you listening, his advice wasn't just respected, it was treated with like the infallibility of a mathematical law. To question it was practically unthinkable.
Exactly, which is what makes his next move just so devastating. Ahithophel actually betrays King David to join a growing rebellion, and the rebellion is led by Absalom, who happens to be King David's own son.
Right, so going back to our boardroom analogy, that's like your top strategic advisor suddenly jumping ship to back a hostile takeover led by your own kid.
What's fascinating here is how the text emphasizes that Absalom gained this massive strategic advantage, specifically because Ahithophel's counsel was so persuasive and, well, influential.
He practically brings an aura of guaranteed success into Absalom's camp. The stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah, for sure.
So how does a leader respond when their greatest advisor becomes their biggest threat? Well, the devotional points out David didn't panic. He didn't try to outmaneuver Ahithophel with human strategy. He simply prayed, "O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness."
Yeah, just a very straightforward prayer.
But here's where it gets really interesting, because I have to ask, if you're a king actively at war, doesn't relying only on a simple prayer, instead of an actionable counter strategy, seem a bit counterintuitive?
Well, yeah, from a purely tactical standpoint, absolutely. But that brings us to the text's underlying premise. It basically argues that no matter how intelligent advice seems, if it opposes God's purpose, divine judgment can expose and silence it, effectively overriding human wisdom.
Oh, wow.
And historically, it's interesting because David's prayer didn't magically make Ahithophel's advice stupid. Tactically speaking, his strategy to defeat David was actually brilliant.
Wait, really? So the advice was still technically good?
Yes, but the prayer influenced Absalom. It made him arrogant enough to ignore that brilliant advice. That's the core lesson here about divine intervention. It changes how the advice is received.
That makes a lot of sense. And moving from that ancient story to today, the devotional uses this to issue a modern directive.
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the text warns that leaders today are surrounded by voices presenting themselves as wise, but their true intent might be to mislead, divide, or destroy.
It's the classic snake in the grass scenario.
Precisely. And
Yeah.
so it shifts the responsibility directly onto the readers. It calls on Christians to use their spiritual authority to pray for leaders, both national and family leaders, to be guided by truth and granted discernment.
So what does this all mean for you? It means taking a hard look at your own life. You need to critically evaluate the voices you trust, looking beyond just, surface-level intellect to discern hidden agendas. And by the way, if you want to explore the source material further, you can find more info at rhapsodyofrealities.org.
Ultimately, true leadership requires looking far beyond the surface to discern those hidden motives.
Exactly. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to ponder. If Ahithophel was so notoriously wise, how might he have rationally justified his disastrous defection in his own mind before it all fell apart? I mean, did he mistakenly believe he was the one with true discernment?
We trust you were blessed by this episode. To gain unlimited access to Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, please download the Rhapsody app using the link myapp.rhapsodyofrealities.org. God bless you.